Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We are here. We are live. I am here. I am live. We're waiting on a few people. Um, but we're gonna get started. I'm gonna go ahead and share these links at the appropriate platforms, and then we're gonna get rolling. Do apologize that we have not been on this platform for a few weeks. However, if you've been following, if you've been listening, then you know I'm on national radio 3, sometimes even 4 times a week. Sports 56, 98.5 FM, happy hour with Johnny Radio, 11 a.m. Central to 1 p.m. Central. So that's 12 p.m. Eastern to 2 p.m. Eastern. Just download the app, go on YouTube, follow it on Twitter. They do a live cast through Twitter, YouTube, 5 days a week. I'm on there 3 to 4 days a week. And of course, the Godfather J Ham is on there full time now. So shout out to him. Like I said, I'm gonna share these links, wait for a few people to get settled into the comment section, and we're gonna get rolling. We're gonna get rolling. Not gonna keep y'all too long. We just, had to do a show. It's been a while, and so we're gonna get into it. Um, there's a lot to talk about, but really, this time of the year, the games do the talking. Like all the talking, all the analysis, all the analytics and stats and metrics and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They don't matter. They don't matter in January. When we get to January, it is strictly matchups and game plans. Styles make fights. And you saw that yesterday. We saw that last week. And we're going to see it today. And with the exception of Bo Nix not being there, we're going to see him next week. So we'll get into all of that. We'll get into all of that. Like I said, just sharing the links, waiting for people to settle in, looking at the comment section. What's going on, people? What's going on, beautiful people? Boom, 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 boom. Mm-mm, mm. There we go. Facebook, Facebook been tripping too much. All right, let's dive into it. So obviously, yep. So here we go. I locked out of my account. So hopefully, I don't know what's going on with Facebook. I'm completely locked out of my account. So if you're in the comment section, share the links, mention people. It is not a young Andrew Whitworth, Mr. Josh Storms. This is a young Mo Schefter. You see the bald head shining. That's right, baby. Head and Shoulders campaign coming soon. You see it. Um, let's go. Let's roll. Let's roll. Brief recap of the wild card of the week, and then I'll jump into what happened. So let's go over wild card weekend. Um, we will start with the Patriots and the Chargers, which was a Sunday night game, which I thought was wildly significant in terms of just talking about legacies and quarterback legacies. And I think Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes owe people an apology because they made y'all think it was easy. They made you think you can just show up in January and get it done. And that's just simply not the case. And for Justin Herbert, we can discuss the tackles not being there, but 3 points is unacceptable. 3 points is just unacceptable. There's no excuse you can give me for 3 points when we're discussing the caliber of quarterback that Justin Herbert is. There's no justification for a quarterback perceived of a certain tier scoring only 3 points. This wasn't the 2000 Ravens. I understand the Patriots defense is respectable, but this wasn't an all-time great lock you down defense. They didn't have a ferocious four-man pass rush or just a complete lockdown secondary. They got great players. They got a very good secondary. They got a very good front seven. It's a very good defense, top five, top 10. But 3 points is unacceptable. And now we have to reevaluate where exactly are we placing Justin Herbert in terms of the rest of the creme de la creme of quarterbacks, especially with the young crop that's coming out, that's coming up. The Drake Mays, the Bo Nixes, the Caleb Williams. Jaden Daniels, we know he had a rough year, but we chalk that up to attrition, a component of attrition, in the words of the great Mike Tomlin, which we will talk about. So to me, and we'll talk about this a little bit with Josh Allen, and when we talk about what happened yesterday, for me, Justin Herbert is now in danger of being in a certain category with quarterbacks that are synonymous with just not getting it done when it matters. Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan, you could throw Kirk Cousins in that bag. He is not in the conversation of Drew Brees and Ben and Aaron Rodgers. And I say those guys because he will never reach the other guys, and we know who the other guys are. So that's there for Justin Herbert. We'll see what happens as his season continues, as his career continues to progress. But certainly the whole, oh well, he's still young, he's still this, he's still that. Like, excuses are done when it comes to Justin Herbert. So very disappointing, and we'll see where it goes moving forward as far as New England is concerned. A huge matchup for them this week, but I thought last week went as expected when you consider the Chargers have, in my opinion, the most disciplined defense. Let's keep that rolling. The Packers and the Bears. And we'll talk about this with Caleb Williams. I can no longer keep focusing on his accuracy issues, because when it matters most, he finds a way to win. And this is a bottom line business. And the bottom line is Caleb Williams has been winning games all season. Will it be sustainable? Can it get him through a deep playoff run? We shall have that answer later tonight. And who are the other games? The Eagles, they got a lot to figure out. There's clearly some sort of locker room friction happening. We don't know what exactly it is. We don't know to what extent. But I do think the number one medicine, the remedy for the Philadelphia Eagles is having a new play caller. And if they do get Brian Daboll, I think that would be an excellent, excellent, excellent hire for your offensive coordinator position. And San Francisco, they lost last night. Seattle whooped on them. But look, I still think this was the greatest coaching job that I have seen in the last 25 years. It is up there with any of them. When you consider all the attrition, all the injuries, all the things they had to overcome, including different quarterbacks throughout the year. Um, yeah, I think Kyle Shanahan 100% coach of the year. I hope Robert Saleh does not get hired this cycle, because I fear if he does, it's going to be like the Cardinals' job, which is the worst job in America right now, um, football wise. So we'll see what happens there. But I do think Kyle Shanahan, 100% coach of the year, and you know, tip your hat to them. They'll be back. Hopefully, they do running back with that coaching staff. They also have Gus Bradley on that coaching staff, which is not talked about enough. His contributions to that defense, also a part of that Seattle Seahawks dynasty defense, the Legion of Boom. So I hope they run it back with that coaching staff, because I think when they're healthy, they're probably the most dangerous team in the NFL. And Brock Purdy, I've been critical of him. I have yearned to see more from him, and he showed me more. These last, I'd say 7-8 weeks of the season, he's played like a top five quarterback in terms of processing what he's seeing, in terms of ball placement, um, and in terms of just overall understanding what the game requires. I think he's got to turn it down a little bit on the turnovers, and sometimes just let the game slow down a little bit more for him. But seventh round pick, last pick of the draft. He's been doing very well the last 3-4 seasons, entering into sort of that second phase of his career where there's a maturation that happens. And I think if you're a 49ers fan, you should feel extremely optimistic about what's coming this offseason, heading into the next season. Now, in terms of wild card weekend, in the words of my boys from Key and Peele, I think it's time to address the elefante in the room with Coach Mike Tomlin. They got their ass kicked Monday night. That was a ass whooping of extreme proportions. Um, Coaching wise, it was a failure. Steelers organization wise, the year was a failure. There's no sugarcoating that. And there was several situations throughout the year and throughout that game where coaching failed, particularly which I have been stuck on all week. Even when I went back and watched some of the tape, you got seven defensive backs. Why is Kyle Duggar playing deep? Why is Kyle Duggar your one deep safety? The Texans saw that two or three times and took advantage of it with Christian Kirk. And then we could point to so many things. The offense never quite figured out how to gel. DK, I'm sorry, like, and this is where the Mike Tomlin conversation comes in, and the Omar Khan conversation. All the moves they made this offseason, which I thought were good moves, they all failed. DK Metcalf was not a better option than George Pickens. He wasn't. Jalen Ramsey, as much as I think he is the best defensive back of his generation, with all due respect to Stephon Gilmore, with all due respect to Pat Pete, who actually was probably anyways. As much as I love Jalen, he was not an upgrade to Minka. Minka was the lid for that defense, and the Steelers gave up a lot of explosive plays. Minka was also the best tackler on that defense. And you saw that in the way teams over and over and over gashed them in the run. As far as Mike Tomlin is concerned, as as much as we poke on the no losing seasons in 19 years, and that might have been his downfall. That those are all true. There is no denying three things, in my humble opinion. Number one, how difficult it is to consistently have above 500 seasons in the NFL, particularly when you consider that he did it with the likes of, um, I'm losing the names right now, Mason Rudolph and Landry Jones and Duck Hodges. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields both got paid big money to be on the bench this season. Well, Mike Tomlin got them to the playoffs last year. So that's the first thing. The second thing, what he meant to the entire Steelers organization. And it speaks volume to who he is as a head coach. The fact that nobody saw this coming. The fact that everybody was surprised. And from all the reports that we're hearing, that we're reading, that we're seeing, for people to describe it like a funeral, for people to say that TJ Watt was crying when he made his announcement in front of the locker room, in front of the team, and for Aaron Rodgers to stand up and start apologizing profusely, and for Cam Hayward to start crying, and for the entire room to stand up and give him a standing ovation, speaks again. It speaks so much. I have no words to quantify the significance, the impact, and the influence of Mike Tomlin on the Steelers as an organization, top to bottom, including all the players who's come out in support, with the exception of James Harrison, but I ain't gonna be the one to challenge James Harrison. And furthermore, which is my third point in terms of his impact, his influence, the significance of Mike Tomlin, what he's done for every black or minority head coach that's been hired in the last 19 years, every single one of them, to a man, will tell you what Mike Tomlin meant to them. So again, was it time to leave the Steel City? Yes, it is. Though nobody know better than me. Sometimes the Steel City, just time to leave it. Okay. And Mike, I'm right there with you. It was time. As he said, it was the best thing for the organization. It's also the best thing for Mike Tomlin. He has earned the right to go do whatever he wants, not just for the next year, but for the rest of his life. And whatever he chooses to do, wherever he chooses to go, whatever platform he chooses to be on, it would, he is the room, the platform, the network, the team is better because Mike Tomlin is involved. The criticism, the tiredness from the fan base is all warranted, but it doesn't by any mean diminish who he is or in any way an indictment on him as a head coach or a CEO of a football team. So I felt that was very important for me to articulate when it comes to Mike T. So salute to you. You are in the football world greatly appreciated. In Pittsburgh, we know you're greatly appreciated, even if towards the end there was a little bit of bitterness. But hey, that happens. And you know, as I tell former significant others, don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. And we are grateful for all our experiences. Now, let's move on to yesterday, as Germ So True is making his way in the building. And where do we start with yesterday? We start with Josh Allen. We start with the Buffalo Bills. And you see the name on the screen. It is indeed the fifth fall of Buffalo. Yeah, absolutely, MJ. Um, there's a lot of narratives that we can throw out there. And we could talk about no Mahomes, no Burrow, no Lamar, and how this was the easiest path for him. And there is truth to that. But there's also the fact that the AFC's heavyweights are defensively driven, which is a change for once. Um, to me, there's no excuses. And I think Josh Allen now is delegated to the same tier as Justin Herbert, where when it matters, he just might not have it. 5 turnovers, all his fault. Like, there's no denying that. The Brandon Cooks interception was 1000% the right call. There is no doubt in my mind. That was clear and obvious that Cooks never established possession, never made a football move while establishing possession, and the corner came away with it. And that was 100% the right decision, the right call, rather. Um, don't really have much in terms of the offensive game plan. I thought Joe Brady was brilliant, but when your offense turns it over 5 times, your quarterback's fumbles several times, that's you can't overcome that. Um, defensively, and this is where Sean McDermott, in my opinion, it's your turn. It's your turn. Approach the bench. It is time for your sentencing, Mr. Sean McDermott, because defensively, I thought there was a massive coaching failure. They were all over the place. They had a great game plan to start, but then they started going all over the place. They started showing blitzes and coming off those blitzes, backing off those blitzes, and trying to disguise all these zones. And Bo Nix just picked them apart. When really it was as simple as blitz and play man, blitz and play man. And they couldn't do that. They didn't do that enough. And in critical situations, they tried to do too much. And on that last drive, when it finally seemed like, okay, we're gonna go back to blitzing now, they did an exotic blitz, brought a corner off the slot, but he was not on the line of scrimmage, so he had a long way to go. They saw him from a mile away coming. So now all of a sudden you're trying to this cute 5, 6 man blitz with no pressure, these silly little zones that aren't being communicated, and there was all kind of space. So I thought Josh Allen is very right to be accountable, but I think for me it's time for Sean McDermott to go. Just like I thought it was time for Zach Taylor to go. That's a different conversation. But Jeremy, I'm gonna let you jump in here. We're talking about yesterday in particular, the Bills and the Broncos, and you have the floor, my brother. Good morning.
So good morning, good afternoon. Um, let's be fair. Let's be objective. Today I'm Jeremy. I'm not Germ. Okay.
Okay.
Um, so I want to be fair. I hate the narrative of just like you said, no Lamar, no Burrow, no that
Yeah.
don't mean anything because in this situation, two of the best defenses in the world right now are in the AFC and they're still playing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you wholeheartedly on that part. Here's what I will say. All of Josh Allen's luck always runs out at this time of year. That fumble at the end of the half is the game.
Yes, I totally agree. Totally agree.
How in the hell do we fumble the ball in that situation when all you had to do, coach, is just go in down 7.5?
Exactly. I said the same exact thing, dog, watching that game. Keep
Like
talking.
it just doesn't make sense to me that we gave up that extra three right there because now that's a game winning drive for Josh Allen. And that completely changes the entire dynamic of this conversation.
So true. So true, Jeremy.
So, so I mean, if we're just being objective, we're just being honest, right? So, what I want to say for the McDermott thing is, I told you earlier this year, I said, Mo, McDermott should have went last year, but if they don't find a way to win it this year, he gotta go. It's not anything other than in life. Sometimes it's not about firing; it's about when you fire.
Mm. Yes, yes, totally agree.
Right now, it's just you've done it. You've done everything you can with this group of people,
Mm-hmm.
Joe Brady included. Maybe we need to go another direction altogether on offense. Maybe we need to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that you can't do some similar things. I'm just saying that maybe this isn't the group.
To your point, I think Joe Brady, if I was Brandon Bean, if I was the ownership for the Bills, he'd be the only one that can stay because I think he's only been there, I think, 2 or 3 years now, and I thought this was the best Bills offense because of their balance, which is all we've been preaching and begging for them to do is have some balance. You see the shirt that I'm wearing, Captain America. His boy, Doctor Strange, I just got off the phone with him. He saw 14,605,000 different scenarios for Josh Allen, and there's only one where he wins the Super Bowl, and that's without Sean McDermott, per sources.
Well, in that unique, very very creative situation right there we just
Uh-huh.
put together, I will tell you, I just don't. This is gonna sound crazy. This is Jim Kelly all over again.
Yes, dude. Yes, that's why I said look my name, the fifth fall of Buffalo.
Like, what do we do What do we do in a situation where the quarterback is not a bad player? He's a great quarterback. Don't get me wrong. He's just in a unique situation.
Hmm.
He's not a. People gonna get mad when I say this. This is the problem with mobile quarterbacks. In the game and the times that you need it most, that overtime throw, there was an interception, was Josh Allen being in the pocket too much.
Yes, yes. And the containment was sometimes a little too overly worried about the containment for the Broncos side. But I thought there were situations, to your point, where I'm like, Josh, climb and step out, climb and step out. Instead, he was either stagnant or he was just climbing and still looking. That's not his game. Climb and step out. And I thought there was plenty of opportunities for plays to be made. I'm with you there. I'm definitely. I mean, again, to your point,
That,
he had his moments.
so we agree that the quarterbacking is the problem.
He-
The quarterbacking 100% right now is the problem.
yeah,
So dare I say the reason why Drake may
talk
end
it,
up being in a game away from a Super
S-
Bowl in his
speak it.
second year, um, is
No,
because he's better at pocket manipulation than all of these other quarterbacks that we keep talking about every week.
mm, your pocket is a quarterback's best
Best
friend.
friend.
The game can evolve. The criteria for what you want out of your quarterback can change and expand. We're not denying that.
Mhm.
The pocket will forever remain the one constant. It is your quarterback's best friend. Why? Because it is where he is most protected.
Protected. And
Simple.
it's also the one place that if you can make every throw out of,
Hmm.
it gives you full control of everything that goes on.
You become the most lethal person on the field.
And it's not because you're a sitting duck, because you're in
No.
one spot.
Mm-mm.
It just says that you know how to use the fortress in front of you, and you're delivering missiles and dissecting competition and annihilating all forthcomers.
Germ. And this is very important here. And we've talked about this before. And I want to make sure I reiterate. And if you listen into this for the first time, please digest it. Most people perceive the quarterback pocket to be the tackle box when they show the intentional grounding rules and stuff. They perceive it to be the tackle box. Negative. The pocket is a fluid environment. It goes where you go as long as you remain within the tackles, but it goes where you go. And I can show you countless plays of the master, Drake May's successor or predecessor, whatever, where he manipulates the pocket so much to the point where he's off his spot. He's not in one position making all these throws, but it's just from different sort of corners of the pocket. And so, again, I say this again, 10 years now. The game can evolve when it comes to the January and February. Can you do it from the pocket? Simple as that. And a lot of people unfairly, and not that we care, but a lot of people misconstrue our views, Germ, because we're critical of certain quarterbacks. And they think we don't like them or we don't appreciate them or we're too hard on them. Nah, It ain't none of that. Substance over flash. And the only time you will see me fully endorse a quarterback is when I can see he can do it from the pocket. I haven't seen it enough from Josh Allen, haven't seen it enough from Lamar Jackson, and that's where Caleb Williams comes into all this, where I still need to see him do it from the pocket. He is phenomenal this year. He is light years ahead of the progress, and he's very well on his way, because you could see there are times where he makes an effort to stay in the pocket. But if you can't do it from the pocket, ain't no cash, baby. Simple as that. Simple as that. You want to cash in checks, you want to cash in Super Bowls. Gotta have deep pockets. Your thoughts?
So for Caleb, my whole thing is again, all this running around and all this
Mm-hmm.
great. Like, I'm not saying it's not entertaining. I'm not saying it don't make for great television. And I'm not
Yeah.
telling you that sometimes I'm like, hey, that was crazy.
Yeah.
But what I am saying is that's the same program that Lamar, Josh, and these other guys are on.
Yup.
And sometimes all of those plays, let's not act like Caleb isn't late making some of these throws.
100%.
Let's not act like the window is not open in the pocket, and then we have to make some dramatic exit out of the pocket to manipulate the situation to make it into heroics.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part of the game that people don't see.
Totally agree with you.
I'm not saying that he's trash. I'm
Of
not
course
saying
not.
anything negative. I'm just saying, in the words of Trav, take care of your business at the beginning so you ain't got to worry about it later.
Yes. Yes.
In the first 3 seconds, if you knew what was coming at you, you will be better prepared for it and you could beat it better. The superpower of all these young quarterbacks is their legs. The superpower of the greatest quarterbacks that we've ever seen is their minds. That is the reason why we are struggling so much with dissecting these number one and top five defenses right now. Believe it or not, that's one of the reasons why the Browns haven't in over 2 seasons, given up a 300-yard passer.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to think about a defense not giving up a 300-yard passer in a game, and think about in 2015, a 300-yard pass was inevitable. No matter how good your defense was, it was about how good your defense played in situations.
Yes.
Overall defense right now is trumping situational defense because we don't have
1,000%.
quarterbacks that are smart enough to be able to manipulate the game and make a defense adjust. Every defense has a weakness.
Yes.
Denver's
Except for
defense,
Houston.
Houston has a weakness too, though, and I want to
Do
talk about that
they?
briefly.
Okay, we'll talk.
Yes,
Keep going. No, keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
because the reason why I'm going to talk about them next is I'm just going to jump right into it after this.
Okay, bet.
Um, Houston and the Rams are similar in a couple of ways.
Okay.
They are very, very, very well versed on their defensive lines.
True.
They have some very unique athletes. Okay,
True.
we're going to give that 100%. We're going to give these guys their flowers. They're effing phenomenal. Okay,
Yes.
here's the problem though. Daniil Hunter, as the cyborg that he is, he still doesn't play the run as well as I would like for him to play the run sometimes. Some of that two gapping, some of those extra moves and all that other stuff, all that's fine and dandy. All of the great stuff that he can do on the field is perfect. The same thing with Jared Verse. The same thing with Will Anderson. If you run the ball at these guys, I'm not saying it's going to always be successful. What I'm saying is that is the part of the game that makes this whole thing change. Pittsburgh last week was running the ball at a really, really good rate before they just stopped doing it.
They stopped doing it.
I'm not saying everybody's Pittsburgh, but what I am saying, the unique challenge this week is the Bears come in with the ability to be able to attack these guys, would attack the Rams defensive line, and New England comes in with the ability to be able to attack Houston's defensive line. This doesn't mean I'm saying that the Houston defense is not great or it's not an elite defense. The same thing with Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Run the ball at them.
Yeah.
Because these again, what do we say? Man, listen, bro. I keep saying this to y'all because it's the truth. What are we sacrificing to have an elite pass defense with our linebackers? We're sacrificing 25 to 30 pounds and guys that are really, really good at mirroring the running backs. These guys
Which
are
is
very,
important.
very good at playing in space, but they're not always elite at playing inside the tackle box. Congestion is not their friend. Why? Because they don't have no weight. They don't have no weight attached to them. The Bears literally traded away Roquan Smith and went smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And look at what it did for their defense. Does that mean that their
29th.
defense is better? No. But what it's saying is Roquan is an in the tackle, heavy congestion linebacker.
Yeah.
Those linebackers we're transitioning away from, which is why you see Fred Warner playing at a level that we don't normally see because
Oh
he
my
actually
God.
is good in congestion.
Yes. Yes. Best linebacker in the league. Probably the best player in the league, to be honest with you.
Well, he's one of them for sure. So
Yeah, dude. Fred is
it's
different. Fred is different.
it's not the same thing because that's some of the things that we see that we can talk about and expand more on a later date of what we talk about, like with some
Mm-hmm.
film sessions.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's a really big key, Mo.
I agree.
I
I
think the
agree.
linebackers are a key part. So go ahead. I'm gonna let you digest that, but let me let you get in on that.
No, so there's a lot to respond to, and I'm gonna keep it quick and then keep it short, and then bounce it back to you, and you can take it wherever you want to take it. As far as Trav asking, should Cooks catch the ball and verify the catch? Look, that's a tough throw. That's a tough catch. It was well contested. It's a 1 in a million play, but again, 100% the right call because I think Cooks would have established possession and would have caught the ball and would have completed the process of the catch had that defender not been there. So and this is what upsets me. This is when I get irritated with fans, and I ain't talking about you, Trav, because you asked a great question. I'm talking about everything that I saw as soon as I opened up Twitter and Facebook this morning. Like I opened up social media this morning to get caught up. Did I miss any breaking news, et cetera, et cetera? What's going on? And all I'm seeing is people with conspiracy theories and NFL is rigged and this and that. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Are y'all watching the game? Or are y'all just reacting to what you see from NFL memes? Like, what are we doing here? That was an obvious and clear interception. Obvious. Even if you want to say, oh, well, he never caught it. Okay, the ball never hit the ground. So we can go through all emotions of it. One, he never established possession. And number two, the ball never hit the ground, period. Period. So even if you want to call it a fumble, it's still a fumble. The point is, it was Denver's ball, regardless of however you want to interpret it. But if you want to interpret it objectively and fairly based on the rule, however you slice it, it's a takeaway. So I'm not going to blame Brandon Cooks. But that's just what it is. I'm gonna give credit to the defender. That's number one. Number two, is Caleb a quarterback rule breaker? No such thing, Trav. No such thing. In the regular season, sure. Cam was a rule breaker. Michael Vick was a rule breaker. Lamar was a rule breaker. Josh was a rule breaker. Caleb was a rule breaker. Sure. In the regular season, sure, we can have that fun discussion. Playoffs, ain't no such thing. No such thing. Which is why Lamar has not yet been to the Super Bowl. Which is why Josh Allen has not yet been to a Super Bowl. Which is why Cam only made it once based on lightning in a bottle and never even came close to replicating that season. It just is what it is. Again, we can be entertained by it and we can appreciate it and we can acknowledge the quality of play because this is still the NFL. But we in January right now. It's January 18th. Yesterday was Muhammad Ali's birthday, RIP. Tomorrow is Martin Luther King Day, RIP. Great things to celebrate. Football wise, this is our time. Me and Germ's time. The lab extraordinaire's time. It's no time for next gen stats. It's no time for analytics. It's no time for Dan Campbell's theories. This is football time. This is where things matter. This is where rules and law comes into play.
I'm dirty.
Offensive line, defense, discipline, quarterback pocket play.
Mm, mm, mm.
Those are things that are law.
Hallelujah.
And we the sheriffs, baby.
I just would like to say, Amen. Um, it is more evident every day that I like when Trav asks certain questions because it allows us to answer some
Yes.
of these questions so that people can stop thinking some of the stuff that they think.
Yes.
I don't care how much of a rule breaker you are in the 18 games. This scouting report got what you ate for breakfast on it.
Mm-hmm. And listen, I hear what you're saying, Big Shot. The quarterback position is extremely young. It is. This is very similar to the 2000 to 2005, where you had young Peyton, and then Brady, and then Breeze, and then Phillip, and then Aaron, and you had Brett on the back end of his career. So we're in a very similar spot. And yeah, I'm with you. All these young quarterbacks, I am excited to see what they're doing and where they're gonna go. And I know Big Shot, MJ, and Les are just sitting there saying, boy, if he beats the Rams tonight, I understand. But we telling y'all, and I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it again. I'm not gonna come off this. Because every time I choose to come off a harsh stance, they remind me why I had a harsh stance. Trevor Lawrence, Caleb, entertaining, yes. Baller, yes. Winner, yes. Will it be sustainable? No. And he's got a very opportunity to evolve tonight. That's the beautiful thing about sports. That's the beautiful thing about sports is these athletes have the opportunity to evolve and get better every time they step on the field.
Mhm.
So everything we are saying about Caleb Williams, truth. But he has a chance to rewrite the truth tonight. And I'm telling you, if he thinks what has been working is going to work, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's going to be a great matchup, but he better find the time to understand how to do quick dropbacks, dissect, throw accurately.
I mean, I get it. I get it. I guess. I get it.
um, but
Um, I get it. I,
yeah.
I will tell you 100% that I get where people are coming from. However, I would just tell y'all, please. I know we're becoming fans of the moment. Don't let the television tell you vision.
Ooh, ooh, my favorite one. My favorite one.
And
Don't
the television
don't.
is telling us that Caleb is out here just lighting it up and everything is all good in Chicago. Caleb
Hmm.
got to sit his ass down.
Yeah.
So we got to relax. Slow down, Fernando. You're only 16.
Oh man.
I
Okay, I'm
just want him. I don't want you. I don't want this to be one of them situations where that media hype sets him up to take this big fall in a situation where we already telling you what he needs to do better at. And when he does better at it, I'm going to tell you he did better at it.
exactly.
I'm not scared to be objective. I'm not scared to be wrong.
No, we are
These
not.
are just simply lab notes of the things and the events that have already transpired
Mm-hmm.
that show who this quarterback is.
Mm-hmm.
An evaluation of Caleb one said Caleb Williams. Jeremy put on his notes heroism.
Yes, you did.
Will
I could.
always make a
Yes, you did.
play. Will always look to make a play even when you do not need to. Sometimes it's as simple as just taking the 5 yard out
Mm-hmm.
or the 5 yard check down. And in games like this, against a coach like McVay and that staff that he has, they're going to make some things really simple. They're going to make him have to do some. They're instead of them worried about giving up big plays, they're going to probably give him the quick completions and see what
Mm.
happens.
100%. 100%. And I will also say this. Good. I'm sorry. Good. Finish that thought.
No, 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 no. That's for you to get in.
I will also say this on the McVay side, and then I'll jump into the defensive side. McVay is not like LaFleur, whereas LaFleur abandons game plans and abandons the significance of the run game. McVay's not going to do that. McVay is going to run you're going to get volume of runs. And why is that significant? Because Caleb and the Bears offense is are not going to get as many opportunities to make up for errors against this football team. And that's significant. Because again, when we're talking playoff football and it's a 60-minute game, nothing matters but what's about to happen on the next play. And that's the beautiful thing about playoff football. So it's going to come down to not making the mistakes. It's going to come down to making sure we extend drives and on the flip side, get off the field. And it's going to come down to who can run the ball better. Run the rock, protect the rock. That is a essential formula for cooking up a Super Bowl. And on the flip side with defensively, Germ, what I'm going to be focusing on is you talked about these athletes, right? And while again, I know Chicago fans don't want to hear this. I know. And one player does not make a difference as to whether a team wins or loses a Super Bowl. That I don't agree with because one player can make the difference as to whether you are a Super Bowl contender or not. Tom Brady, one man difference. Pat Mahomes, one man difference. Michael Parsons, one man difference. We could talk all day long about what you think of him in the run game. Keep it to yourself. Playoff football is about having certain things. And in playoff football, Jerm, and I'm gonna let you jump in right after this. Certain things are magnified. What do we always talk about when it comes to the three most important ingredients to a championship football team? The three most important positions: quarterback, protect the quarterback, get the quarterback. What he's going up against today with Jared Verse and Young and everybody else that they got, the pass rush they can contain while remaining aggressive. The spies that they have this week are better athletes and better football players than what Green Bay had to throw at them last week. Lucas Van Ness and Rashawn Gary are not going to chase down Caleb Williams. Byron Young and Jared Verse will track him down like a cheetah on a gazelle. And that subtle difference is magnified when they have to rush contain and these guys are able to shed their blocks and keep him from doing what he does best. And he again, so that's my main focus. That's my main focus is how will they rush him, contain him, and how will he react to that? And if he stands there in the pocket, moves, slides, fires, accurate, I'm a tip my hat. I'm gonna tip my waitress. I'm gonna call Les, and I'm gonna be like, what, before you find me, I'm here to find you. What you got to say to me? If that happens, and I'm believe me, if it happens, I am. This is the one thing that I love about me, and that I love about Germ, and this is why me and Germ talk football. Me and Germ talk football more than y'all will ever know. Like what you see here is us trying not to dive too much into it, so we don't spend too much time on these airwaves. Like if he does that, we're gonna be the first people to applaud him. We're gonna be the first people to applaud him, even though we're wrong, et cetera, et cetera. But it's gonna be very critical for him to understand what he's going up against. Very critical. And the run game. The run game. One guy, DeAndre Swift, you got to make sure you run the ball. Colston Loveland, I mean, Green Bay couldn't stop a tight end 7 route, corner route to save their lives last week. They ran corner routes 3 times in a row with Loveland. And each time they didn't stop it in the fourth quarter. That's not going to happen this week. This is a much better coached defense, even though they've had they've been vulnerable and they've been almost bad the last few weeks of the season. All it takes is one game to get right. All they need is one game to get right. And if it doesn't happen, guess what? We got the MVP, we got 75 tight ends, and we got the 2 best receivers arguably in the league when it comes to short area and red zone situations. It's going to be a fun matchup. It's going to be an extremely, extremely fun matchup. Give a prediction if you're ready, Germ, and move on to the Texans Patriots. You know where I'm going. I'm going with the Rams. I'm going with the Rams. I think Stafford and Adams, that NFC North history, I think they're going to want to look to get a little revenge. I also very much buy into the fact that Sean McVay is not happy about the way Ben Johnson disrespected Matt LaFleur. I firmly believe that. Also, Matt LaFleur's brother is on the Rams coaching staff. So I think they're going to have a little extra motivation to pepper that secondary that can be peppered. I think it's going to be a close game. Obviously, the cold is going to make an impact. But Devontae Adams is used to that cold. So is Stafford. They have guys that are used to playing in that cold. They'll be fine. The cold is going to be a problem, sure, but it's a problem for both the teams. So I think the red zone matters. I think the run game matters. I think the turnovers matter. And I am going to go with the Los Angeles Rams. I'm going to go 31-27 Rams.
Well, I'm not going to give you that many points
Okay.
because I'm going to be honest with you. This is a time of possession type of game for me.
Mm,
And I think that this is the type of game where, hey, Bears, you got this new shiny offensive line, right? It's the game where you're going to have to lean on that running game. And I don't want to see Caleb throw the ball more than 20 times today, personally.
that's
I want
fine.
to take the game out of his hands. I want the
That's
game in the
fine.
hands of defense and running game because that is a sign that we are a complete football team. And that's what we want to showcase tonight.
Hmm.
Not anything else, a complete football team. Um, this is tough for me because I believe that they can showcase that tonight against this Ram defense. But here's the problem. I think if Stafford gets hot, he gonna unthaw that entire field.
It's, you are absolutely, that is a very,
He
very,
is pure quarterbacking. That is still he is the guy that we say every week is a pure quarterback in this world full of athletes. And I still he might be he might be the best quarterback in the league this year.
yeah, I agree.
Um, give me the Rams. Give me the Rams. 20. the Bears 13. I think this is a really, really, really good game. I think we get some really, really, really good field position changing plays. But I think at the end of the day, I just think that the athletes on the other side of the ball are going to be the key.
Yes. I love that. I love that. I love that take because we just sort of covered with my take and your take, we covered all the different scenarios it plays out, which shows you how matchups make, or what do you styles make fights. And again, as I said on the show with Johnny on Friday, these are game plan games, and that's what makes them so fun. So, what did you give a score or
Yeah,
no?
2013.
That's what I thought. Okay, okay. Um, all right, now let's go to the Texas Patriots, which is the first game of the day. And I don't want to. We again, Jerm, you and I could sit here for the next hour and talk about this game from A to Z. Go through every matchup, rosters, coaches, coaching history, D'Amico, Rabel. I'm gonna just keep it very simple. Okay, you want to go first? You want me to go?
I just want to say one thing real quick.
Hit me.
I love D'Amico Ryans as a head coach in this league. I think what he stands for is excellent. I think his demeanor is fucking incredible and
Mm-hmm.
sensational. I think the humility of him as a person
Mm-hmm.
is incredible. If it was up to me, I would give him the Super Bowl
Hmm.
just because he is my favorite coach that is still coaching right now.
I agree.
I just think as a leader of men, the way he is, just chef's kiss, bro. Chef's kiss.
Yes.
Shout
Yes.
out to his parents. Shout out to his circle. Great guy. I that's all I gotta say. I root for him like I root for Mike Tomlin.
I agree with you. We twin brothers here. I totally agree with you.
Because those two dudes, you can just tell the way that their players play. The players are there for them. They're not there for
Yes.
it's not just a check from the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact I get to play for Mr. Ryans over here.
Yeah, dog. Yeah, dog.
So I'm here for the game today. I love this matchup. Oh my god, this is the matchup that I really wanted to see more than anything else because, and then we can dive into. You can go ahead and let's set the stage, and we can give our predictions. I just feel like if there was any team that could make this defense look semi regular, it would have to be from a defensive coach
Mm,
who can say Stingley's really good at this, but did you see the opportunities
mm.
that he gave up last week when you put a physical receiver with him? Difference is DK can't catch.
You might say that a little too loud. They're gonna hear you across the lake.
30 million is crazy for a guy who's never been a guy who catches the ball consistently with his hands.
What a failure that was, dog. What a failure that was. Unbelievable.
Hey yo,
Unbelievable.
hey yo, I
Unbelievable.
try I tried to stay quiet about it all season, but the lack thereof ability to track the ball sometimes from him is ultimately why he's that big, that fast, that physical, and he went in the second round.
Germ, what are the two things Pittsburgh is famous for producing? Three
Wide
things.
receivers,
Yup.
tight ends, and edge rushers.
I see you better than me. I was going to tell you wide receivers catch up and steal.
Well, edge rushers, they've always had good edge rushers.
Yeah,
Always.
but yeah, no doubt. But you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. You nailed it. But I'm saying, like, for a team that has been famous for developing all pro receivers, Hines Ward, Antoine Randall, Mike Wallace, Santonio Holmes, and the founders. You
Mm-hmm.
see that? The
Mm-hmm.
founders
Mm-hmm.
in Emmanuel Sanders and Antonio Brown. and it kept going with Juju, and it kept going with George Pickens. Why are you giving up assets and cap space to go get a receiver when you had a better one in the building? And the worst part, and this is kind of when I knew this might be the last year for Tomlin, when GP was like, y'all tripping? I love Mike Tomlin. I still talk to Mike Tomlin. I would have played for that man forever. And yet, this is the dude y'all traded away for somebody who can't control his emotions and gotta go grab blue wigs in the stands? They failed. They failed.
Listen,
Anyways.
bro, dude, listen. When if a player says something like that, you kind of already know where the coaching staff, the players, everybody was at with this.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of can see certain things just from the players' demeanor about certain things.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if Cam Hayward retires. It's just a lot of stuff that's getting ready to happen. That's all we're gonna say.
Also, Big Shot, you just gave me the inspiration for the poster, the visual that I will be making for the Rams and Bears game. Stay tuned for that on TikTok and Instagram. As far as what you said about Vrabel and Stingley and understanding how to take advantage of certain things, there's a couple things here from the New England side that I want to expand on with what you said. Perfectly well said. There's also two factors here. One is the Josh McDaniels factor. Josh McDaniels executed a game plan against a great Broncos defense, against some great Ravens and Steelers defenses, against that all-time great Seattle defense. Um, so he knows a thing or two about putting together the proper game plan for great defenses. What he had was the perfect on-field general to execute that game plan, which leads me to the third layer in Mr. Drake May May. Um, the one thing that he said was him and McDaniels in the offseason in particular, watched a lot of Tom Brady film for good reason, for good measure, for good reason. They said they pounded Brady film. They also said that they still will watch old Brady film when leading up to certain matchups. And there's certainly high quality film on Brady versus the Texans, great defenses that D'Amico Ryans was a part of with Brian Cushing, J.J. Watt, Wade Phillips. There's also great Tom Brady film on sorry, there's a couple breaking news here, but we'll talk about that. There's also great Tom Brady film. Speaking of Wade Phillips, on the Wade Phillips Broncos. There's also great Tom Brady film against going up against the Gus Bradley and Dan Quinn led Seahawks defense. So it's gonna come down to the execution of Drake May. And in my humble opinion, against great defenses, like all-time great, conservative doesn't work. You got to attack. And there's again last week, a lot of Pittsburgh fans texting me, why aren't we throwing more screens? Why aren't we throwing more screens? That's not the way to attack great defenses. That's a great defense that will read, react, and finish to screenplays. That's not great defenses. You got to attack. So the route combinations are going to matter because they're not going to play a traditional man. They're not going to play a traditional zone. They're going to pattern read. So what you got to do is draw up combinations that break the patterns. That's it. It's a very simple, but it's very hard to execute. And it's even harder to execute for 60 minutes. And it's damn near impossible to execute it for 60 minutes in a high pressure situation. So, Mr. Drake May, MVP, what you gonna do today? What you gonna do today? Me personally, The only reason I picked the Steelers last week was because of Mike T and Aaron Rodgers. I love what the Patriots are doing. I think they are well on their way to add in another Lombardi to one Patriot place. But I just want to see this Houston Texans defense play at least one more game. The pattern reading, the communication, and the pressure is at an elite level that we have not seen in 10 years, which me and Jerm will be doing a show on this. But no mistake, no argument. They are in the conversation of the 2013 Seahawks, the 2015 Broncos, the mid 2000 Steelers, the early 2000 Ravens, the 2002 Bucks. Like to me, they are in that conversation. And they are by far the best defense that we have seen in the last 10 years since the 2015 Broncos. I think they win it. I like what Big Shot said. First to 20. You said 2013 for the Bears Rams game. I'm going to go 24-21, which might be too many, but I got to give a little respect to Drake May. So I'll go 24-20, New England. I mean, Houston, sorry. 24-20, Houston. I just can't wait to see it. Germ?
I don't mind that at all. I'm just gonna make it easy. I'm going New England.
Okay.
Would like for everybody to know this right now. I'm not a person who cares about being right or wrong. The New England Patriots are the best team left in the field.
Wow. Wow.
Um,
Okay.
I think if Drake isn't the best quarterback playing, he's second.
Mm.
I think Vrabel might be the most battle tested coach in the field left. But most importantly, Vrabel's been through this before.
Yes.
This is why I thought that this hiring was everything for them. He brought his own people, he executed his game plan, and most importantly, the quarterback took a step forward that we didn't think he would take a step forward like this fast. The New England Patriots will beat
Love it.
this
I love
team
it.
today in Houston. Houston is 2 pieces away, which is not about the defense. It's really going to be about that offensive line. If you can protect CJ Stroud and run the ball, we wouldn't have started 0-3.
Yeah. And a big reason I keep looking at my phone is because I want to see if Trent Brown is going to be active or not. Because he's a big difference maker if he's active. If he's active with Titus Howard and how much better that interior offensive line has played this year, then we have a different conversation. Because Trent Brown, Super Bowl champion. So I like it. I agree with it. I love it. We'll see how it plays out. I cannot wait. Um, Not sure when we're gonna do a show next. We're gonna try and do show before next weekend. Me and Jerm will talk. But happy hour to happy hour Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays. Views from the 22 is on there. 11 to 1 p.m. Central, 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern. One of us is on there at least 3 times a week. Our brother Jay Ham is on there every day. Darian is on there almost every day. Johnny is the host, and we appreciate them for the platform that they have allowed us to share with them. So again, if we're not on these YouTube lives, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and 98.5 FM, you can download the app. You can go on YouTube. You can go on Twitter and listen to the show right there on Twitter. You don't need no subscription. It ain't paid. You don't even got to download the app. Make sure you locked in. Make sure you finding us on all the platforms. We got a lot of great content coming out. I got 2 visuals that I'm going to post today. One for the Texans game, one for the Rams game on TikTok, Mo_views22. Tune in, lock in. Germ, close the statement. Take us home, baby.
No closing statement. 22. See you when we come through.